Homecoming week. A week full of fun, excitement, and opportunity. But is spirit a part of that? As students progress through high school, it's important that they have a community that supports them and one that they can fall back on during times of stress. But does the lack of spirit and involvement at Los Altos High School affect those relationships that students have with each other?
I think people who want to build a community will do that, and people who don't, they don't have to. So I think it kind of relates to how school spirit definitely varies.
It can. I mean, there certainly are some groups on our campus that are much more spirited and put together well than others. But those groups subsequently have better support systems. And so when something goes down, when something goes wrong or haywire, those students have someone immediately to contact, whether that's a club or whether that's some other organization, just buddies around campus.
There's a lot of split communities. We're all part of Los Altos, but there's also the smaller individual groups.
To get a first-hand look at the spirit of Los Altos, we hit up the quad on Wednesday morning. Do you find that by participating in these spirit days, you kind of build a stronger community amongst your peers?
Kind of, and it's really fun, just come to my school on PJs and all stressed out.
While people were getting excited for the homecoming parade, things took a turn for the worse with the Northern California wildfires canceling the homecoming parade and game. The wildfires were devastating, burning more than 210,000 acres of land and 5,700 structures, thousands of which were houses. The damage is estimated to cost more than $3 billion. Additionally, the fires have claimed 42 lives and injured almost 200 more. But the fires have affected more than just the people who have experienced them firsthand. What are those health effects that come with inhaling air with lots of particulate matter?
Yeah, right. So when you breathe in, it gets deep into your lungs, and the particulate matter that's over 10 microns, say, you can get rid of. Under 5, it can get lodged in the bottom of your lungs, and then under 0.5 microns, it can actually get into your cardiovascular system. So as most people noted, nobody died, but there was people who are, maybe I wasn't affected negatively, but there are people who have asthma that were negatively affected. There were people who got nausea from breathing in because it was in their cardiovascular system and it caused a reaction in their bodies. So not everybody's affected. Certainly little kids more affected than older people, and there's lots of little kids who go to parades. So that's the main concern.
So I had to deliver the announcement school-wide, but also to ASB, that we weren't doing the homecoming parade this year, and it's the first time in the history of the parade, so it's been decades. So they understood that we didn't have a choice in it, and it was for people's good and their safety, to not be out and about in cars, behind cars, walking, in the heat and all those things. So they understood, but at the same time it felt like all this energy, and we had floats mostly done and all of these things. Personally, that was hard to take.
Would you say that the energy level or the spirit of your students was lower during that cancellation of the parade?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I talked to a bunch of people who were in the homecoming court, and they were kind of like, GYS.
I think every time that there's some kind of tragedy or disaster, it does bring people closer together. So.
While the fire may have dampened the energy from homecoming week, this tragedy continued to revitalize the school spirit that students have at Los Altos High School.